Welcome back, everybody. Another episode of Everybody Needs a Nudge. We've got another Najarian for a guest. It's almost like I don't have any friends, so I have to keep inviting my family in. So this week's guest extraordinaire was supposed to be last week's guest extraordinaire. Whose fault was that, Ken?
That's mine.
Yep. Okay.
I'll take full responsibility for that.
I appreciate you coming right out and saying that. Really saves me the headache of being wrong, which I never am.
I'm used to accepting
that
my deficiencies.
You're very accepting.
Yeah, I'm very accepting.
Yeah, very accepting.
Yeah.
A couple of corrections, and this is a correction. We'll get into sort of the week that was, although there wasn't much of a week because we recorded on Friday, and now we're back here on Monday recording. So not a lot to talk about in the week that was. Annabelle continues her jet-setting ways and was over in Nantucket for the weekend.
Oh,
yeah,
me.
Tough life. She went to the house that we built at 7 Pilgrim and hung out there by herself in the pool. Yeah, not bad. 16 years old, no job, no money, spending my money.
Why wasn't I called?
I don't know.
I would have gone.
I know you would have gone.
I would have made sure she stayed, straight and narrow.
She's on the same emergency credit card plan that Margot was on. Do you remember that?
Ooh, yes, I do.
We'll talk about that. We'll get to that. Margot is Kenny's youngest, my cousin. So. Corrections, I feel bad. I listened back, and Root Beer, I kind of killed you when you pronounced the name of the guy from The Bronx Tale, C. Remember you said his name wrong?
Yes, unfortunately.
And you left the O off, and I was like, I can't believe you I didn't spell it with an O. Right?
Thank you.
You're welcome, Root Beer.
Validation.
Yeah. So it's CALOGERO. Do you remember that movie, Bronx Tale? No? Oh, God, Sheltered Life.
I don't think I ever saw it, Dan.
Really?
No.
Great movie. Chaz Palminteri. It's like the third week in a row we've talked about it, but
Yep.
Chaz Palminteri, Al Pacino. Al Pacino's raising a kid in the Bronx. Al Pacino is a bus driver. Plays a completely opposite role. Usually the gangster, not Al Pacino, Robert De Niro.
Yeah.
Robert De Niro is a bus driver, and he's trying to raise his kid in the Bronx, and his kid gets mixed up with the mafia. The local street guys played by Chaz Palminteri, and it's like this struggle between the kid wanting to be with the gangsters because he sees how all the money and the notoriety, and the father's trying to keep him on the straight and narrow. It's a great movie. You'd like it.
I'll have to see it.
Yeah, you'd like it. It's a good movie. I wanted to mention.
I'll rent it via video.
Yeah, you can get it on Netflix. One of our sponsors.
Goodness. Oh, that's sponsor.
Yeah, Netflix. For when you want to watch a movie.
Netflix. There you
See?
go.
Right? That's not bad.
Perfect. I like it.
Netflix.
You should be
when
able
you
to
want to
sell
watch a movie. Right? I think so. They should pay us now.
I think you should put a Netflix fine over the.
Yeah. Netflix. Our sponsors. We have a new sponsor.
Sorry.
Yeah. Mary Lou's Coffee. For all your coffee needs on the South Shore, call Mary Lou's.
Oh, wait a minute. You got to have a girl do it. They always.
I know. Do you want to read the copy for that?
Mary Lou's Coffee.
For all your coffee needs on the South Shore.
Call Mary Lou's.
There you go. They're not really our sponsor, but maybe they should be. But now we have competing sponsors because Pour was a sponsor. So Milton Academy, I wanted to mention the guy and finish my Milton Academy story from last week, which was I took an interview there and didn't get in for a variety of reasons, but the guy that I know
with the pull of your brother, because Rob was in there.
Well,
that's why they wouldn't let you.
That's right.
Yeah, okay.
And
we'll blame it on him.
So just the difference. When I was growing up, the guy's name was Frank Millette, and he used to write your acceptance letters from Milton Academy in calligraphy. And I know this because my parents framed my brother's acceptance letter and hung it on the wall.
That makes sense.
Yeah, they didn't frame my anything.
I don't think they really cared about you.
I was the baby.
Yeah, well, then they cared a little bit.
A little bit.
I was the baby, too, and it does work.
Yeah, they cared about you.
Yeah.
We'll get into, but you were like getting chained to trees and stuff, right?
Yeah, it's a whole nother world.
We'll talk about that. And then finally, my last correction was I was talking about my college roommates, and I left out Canton. Brian Callery, he's from Canton. I didn't mention him. But those are the only corrections because last week's show was so clean. We didn't have a lot of corrections.
If it's clean, there's no corrections.
So what are you saying? It wasn't clean?
It wasn't clean.
Because of the corrections.
Correct.
Interesting. I'm not sure I agree with that because
that's okay.
3 corrections, they're pretty minor corrections. Like before I was I was attributing quotes to presidents when it was really Roger Clemens. Like, I was really wrong.
You're really bad.
Yeah, I was really
bad. I guess you could consider this clean then.
Yeah, this is clean. This is everything's relative. It's all relative. I have a friend who he's in the he's in the Quincy. Is he in the North Quincy?
Uh-oh, here we go. More corrections next week.
He's either in the North.
Setting up for corrections.
Dennis Pateris. He's either in the North Quincy or the Quincy Hockey Hall of Fame. So I always, when I introduce, he coaches with me. So when I introduce him, like, it's a Hockey Hall of Famer, and his line is, "It's all relative."
Exactly.
Yeah, it's all relative.
It's all relative.
He's saying this didn't have a lot of competition up there to get into the Hall of Fame. So anyway, we got Uncle Kenny, my Uncle Kenny here, Ken Najarian, longtime accountant. He's a consultant. A voice of reason for crowd lending, and has been a good friend to me both personally and business for a long, long time. So we're going to get into it with Ken Najarian here. Where did it all begin? From the beginning. Like Brighton, Arlington?
Born in Brighton, November 1st, All Saints Day. For those of you that are
Catholic
wow. And Christian,
All Saints Day.
Understand that if you're born on All Saints Day, you're in.
What is that? What do you mean you're in? In where?
You're in. You're just in. You're in.
So you're
guided. You're guided as things go on in your life through certain experiences.
More than other people?
Yeah, yeah. Like if you're born on October 31st, which is Halloween, you're in big trouble.
You're in big trouble.
So I was born on November 1st.
Well, thank God for Grandma for making sure it was November 1st.
Oh yeah, well she definitely put a cork up or something, so I wouldn't be born on the 31st of October.
She didn't want you coming out on Halloween.
I was going to be born on All Saints Day.
Yeah.
That's it. You know?
That's incredible. I think they probably were shooting for it with my father because he's October 2nd, and they just missed the timing on the front end.
No, they didn't miss the timing.
No,
they knew that on purpose.
Yeah,
they wanted me to be All Saints Day,
the chosen one.
Yeah, chosen one.
Yeah.
Well, not really. He's always been the chosen one. Trust me.
He has.
He has been the chosen.
Yeah.
One. He's had his issues this time, but
yeah.
He
this is my father we're now speaking about.
Yeah.
His
my oldest brother.
His oldest brother, who's how much?
The only brother that I have, and he's 10 years older than me.
10 years. So it's pretty neat because my father's now 80. You got to be 70.
I'll be 70 on November 1st.
All Saints Day.
Yeah. Remember that.
And then Robbie's 57. So there's almost right around. And then I'm 47, and we all went on a golf trip. That was 10 years ago.
Yes, it was.
Yeah.
I was thinking about that, too, because it's his 70th birthday.
Yeah. It was his 70th birthday that we went.
I actually had to sleep in the same room with my brother.
For the first time since?
Since I was about 11.
Yeah.
10 or 11.
How'd that go?
That wasn't good.
No.
He still was annoying. Worse now than he was then.
Yeah. Well, my brother and I shared a room that trip, too, and it was adventurous.
Yeah, but you're different, though. You're younger. It's different. When you're like, ugh. He was tough.
You should have, you guys were pretty successal. You should have got your own rooms.
I would have, but I don't know why. You were in charge.
I think that's exactly what happened. Plus, at the end of the day, we are Armenian, so we're trying to, how can we save a couple bucks? So were you born on Dunkley Street, the house that I'm most familiar with from your parents, my grandparents? That's where you grew up.
That's where I was born, and we lived there till 1958, and then we moved to Arlington.
So, but you kept that Dunkley house.
Yeah, they kept. Papa and Grandma kept the house. It's my mom and dad, by the way.
Yeah.
They kept the house, and my grandmother lived there, and they rented upstairs. And we lived in Arlington till 1972.
So how old are you? What year were you born? If you're gonna be 70, you were born in.
I'll do the math for you.
52.
1952.
See that?
We moved when I was about 6.
To Arlington.
That's a whole nother story.
So did you go to school in Arlington? Well,
yes,
why'd you move? If there's a story, tell the story. That's why we're here.
Well, I don't know why we moved. I know why we moved. Because in Brighton, there were 2 bedrooms. There was my parents' bedroom, and then there was the kids' bedroom. That was it, 2 bedrooms. So when I came along,
because there's a sister in between.
Right, my sister Diane, who passed away at 46 years old in 1993, but she was sleeping in with my brother.
Yeah,
and then Dopey came along, meaning me.
Yeah,
and they put the crib in my brother's room, their room, and my sister was sleeping outside in the dining room. Now you got to remember, I mean, my parents were poor. They came from poor stock. My mother was one of 9 in Southie, and basically lived on Bolton Street across from a brewery. Right now it's like elite territory.
Yeah.
But then it was basically...
Imagine if you held on to that piece of property.
Yeah, my cousin still has it.
They do?
My cousin Gary.
Oh, good for
That's
Gary.
a whole other story. But anyway.
That's
we
a
got
whole
million
other
of them.
story. Yeah.
We could be here a couple hours, 5 hours, 10 hours, but it's not going to be that way. Anyway, they didn't have any money. So when they bought the house, when they got married, they lived in a cold water flat in Southie for 7 years, and then moved to Brighton, bought a 2-family. So that's where they lived.
Yeah.
They didn't think anything of it. So
Yeah.
after a while, my sister sleeping in the dining room, they decided maybe we should move.
Yeah.
And they decided.
So you ran out of
Arlington.
space. They ran out of space.
And we moved to Arlington at that time.
Yeah.
And
But
kind
held
of
on.
ironic, my father, Boompa, started teaching at Weymouth in 1952. And we almost bought a house in Weymouth. But we didn't. We moved to Arlington. And when we moved to from Brighton to Arlington, he got a job at Brighton High.
Wow. And what was he was fixing? He was a mechanic, right? Auto mechanic teacher.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, he was a Vokey.
Back when you know, I don't even, do they have that still? I mean, I know they have
Yeah.
Votex, but so they still, I mean, everything's computerized, but it's not like back in the day where you had wrenches out and you knew how to work a car and fix a car. He always was working on cars.
Always.
So you go to middle school and
I
up
went to
to
grammar school. I went to St. Agnes Grammar School.
private.
Yep, Arlington Catholic High School,
Oh wow.
and then Boston College.
No St. Calls for you.
No, we living in Arlington,
Right.
so I'm not going to go to Brighton.
I don't know. I mean,
Stupid.
I know,
Why
but
would I go to Brighton?
I don't know, loyalty or something. I don't know. No. So Arlington Catholic. What sports did you play there?
Baseball.
Just baseball.
Just baseball.
Yeah. You know, your son was on the show. He told a mean story about you hitting baseballs at him.
I was pretty mean to him, yeah.
So
Well, I'll tell you why.
you're validating his story.
I'll tell you why.
Okay, I can't wait to hear.
Well, because when I was a little kid. I was never really. I was always skinny and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So I ended up played little league, and I was good. I was a good baseball player. So I went into the.
What position did you play?
I played shortstop and second base.
Oh, right up the middle. You were the middle infielder.
Right. So when I got to the big diamond, my arm wasn't very strong, so I ended up playing.
That's a
second base.
Najarian trait, by the
Yeah.
way. Inability to throw, hit, anything that
No, I
required.
could hit.
You could hit.
I could hit, and I could field.
You just couldn't throw.
My arm wasn't as strong. I could
Yeah.
throw, but
Yeah.
not as strong at the big diamond.
So you had to be on the right
I
side
was
of the
skinny.
infield.
I was like 100 pounds.
Yeah, with rocks in your
110 pounds.
pocket.
Exactly.
Yeah, rolls a quarter
Yeah,
from the
exactly.
bank.
And so anyway, so when I was in play the big diamond, I had a coach. Let's see, Joe Rizzo. Joe Rizzo was his name. Never forget it. And
You almost just forgot it.
I know, but I remembered.
You
So
did.
the pressure of being on this podcast.
I know. So there's dozens and dozens
I'm
of people.
sweating
There's
right now.
dozens and
I'm
dozens of
sweating.
people
Andy,
listening.
Make
right
up, make up. So anyway, so he would when I started, I was like the skinniest, littlest kid there, and he wanted to play me because I could hit and
Yeah.
field, but he had all the kids ahead of me. So
This is in high school,
this is when I moved to the big diamond when I was like about 13.
so that's like 8th grade.
Yeah.
Because Hank's still on the little diamond. He's gonna be there one more year. He's going into the 7th, so
Right.
it'll be like 8th grade.
So I was in the 13, and he said, "I want you to stay after practice with this other friend of mine." So he said, "Okay, go to second base," and he started halfway, took a fungo, and started hitting rockets at me. I mean, exploding off my body. I got skinny as a rail, but I learned how to play, and
From Joe Rizzo's fungo bat.
from that, I learned how to play really bad, much better.
Yeah.
And he beat me up pretty good.
Yeah.
And every practice, he would stay with me in the center fielder. And then I'd have to go run after the balls when I missed them. And
Yeah.
I didn't want to run after balls.
Right.
I didn't like to run anyway.
Right.
And I got better.
So that was the first little nudge
Yeah.
in your life. Well, you've had some before that, but athletically, that was the first one that kind of got you going to Arlington Catholic to play some baseball.
Yeah. That was the time that I woke up a little bit,
Yeah.
but he was a good coach and he was hard.
Yeah.
So when I said, Mike was, come on, Mike, let's go.
Yeah, let's go to the diamond. I'm
Let's
going
go.
to Joe
He's
Rizzo your
like,
ass. Yeah.
I don't want to go. I said, we're going.
Yeah.
We're
Yeah.
I'll let you hit. I'll pitch you. You can hit, but you're going to field. He hated it.
He hated it.
Every second of it.
But he
was
ended
good.
up being a good ball
Oh,
player.
a real good ball player.
Yeah.
Really good ball player. He played always through Legion and the whole bit. He was a good, really good baseball player.
So did you play all through college, out through high school?
Yeah.
All 4 years?
Yeah, I played Legion ball too.
Okay.
Yeah.
And what was the Robbie? My brother played in almost like a. Was it after college? Wasn't there a big
Park League.
Park
He
League?
played in the Boston Park
Yeah.
League. Yeah. Yeah.
That was really good
Yeah.
baseball.
Rob was a good baseball.
He was a good baseball
Yeah,
player.
Really
yeah.
good. Yeah.
Don't tell him
You
that.
were too good though.
No, I stunk.
You
That's
really-
why I
you
put.
weren't good.
No.
I can remember. Yeah, you sucked.
This podcast is about you, not me.
Well,
No.
I think we should bring up facts about you.
No, so this
because
is
if you're
this is
going
the
after me, I'm going to ask you something.
but this is the problem with all my guests. They don't understand that I'm the host. Right? Root beer?
Right.
Who's the host?
Well,
You are.
Thank you.
I didn't realize it was Root Beer, the name, but so now I'll call you Root Beer.
Yeah, A&W. Because her initials are A-W. Right? So we did the whole nickname thing, Walshy. Everybody's a Walshy.
Oh, God.
So we went somewhere else. We went with root beer. You like it?
Root Beer. It's all right. It's okay.
Everybody loves the nickname. This guy comes in here, doesn't like the
Yeah. I
nickname.
didn't say I
I
didn't
think
like
they
it.
should be a sponsor.
A&W root beer.
Oh, my God.
For all your root beer needs. Does anybody have root beer needs?
There's no other. I do.
You like root beer.
I love root
You know what?
beer.
My father likes root beer
I
too.
love Root Beer.
Did you drink root beer growing up? Is that where it comes from?
No, I never had it before.
Where-
I mean, come on.
vanilla
That was like-
ice cream and root beer.
Not vanilla ice cream. Root beer was. I loved root beer.
Really?
Yeah, I did. That was always my drink of choice. If I could get a root beer,
So if you went out to dinner
like,
and you
yeah.
were 11, 12 years old and they were going around the table,
I'd get a root beer.
you'd ask for a root
Well,
beer.
you know the old A&W?
Yeah.
It used to be in Marshfield.
Yeah, it's now the fire.
Yeah.
I looked the other day. It's
Yeah.
a fireplace
Yeah, that's great, isn't it?
store.
That was great.
Yeah,
A&W root beer, you get the big thing of root beer.
you could get a root
fried
beer float.
clams. Yeah, oh my God. It was
Yeah.
Unbelievable. Delicious.
It's gone.
Gone.
I know.
Like everything else in this
Yeah,
world.
we're not going down that road. Jesus, nobody will listen to this thing. We're just gonna sit here and bitch about how everything sucks in the world right now. So
It could be funny, though.
it would be hysterical. So now you're at Arlington Catholic.
Yeah.
Is my father? He's gone through BC at that point. I mean, he's graduated.
Oh, yeah. He was, he got married in
63, right?
64.
Yeah.
64, he got married.
Graduated college in
And
63.
at that time, when he got married, I was like 11 and a half,
Yeah.
almost 12.
Yeah.
64. And Robbie was born, which is another ironic thing. Robbie was born when I was 12.
Why is that ironic?
Because if you think the difference of 10 years, 12 years between me and Rob, so it's like,
Yeah, we already talked about this.
I know, but you didn't compare the me to Rob.
Yes, I did.
You said you and Rob. 10 years.
I went through the ages of
You missed
everybody
it,
that
did-
went on the
you
golf
did,
trip
yeah,
that we went on.
So people had to do the math then.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, I have an educated audience.
Right.
All 13 of them out there listening.
13. Why, you've grown.
Baker's doesn't. Yeah. We added one.
But anyway, so yeah. So and then they moved to California right away.
They did. Are you in Arlington all the way through high school?
Yep.
And then how do you end up at BC?
Paid off some people to get in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, we talked about that. It's very different now.
Oh, yeah. Man, in those days.
It was like a legacy school, right? Like if your brother went, you went.
Yeah, kind of.
Yeah.
Yeah, but a lot of people got in. If you went to a Catholic school, your chances of getting into BC at that time were like really high.
Really?
You knew what my SATs were. I probably could get into Massasoit.
Yeah. Well,
You know?
we talked a little bit about that with me too, about how my grades weren't excellent in high school. But
What were your SAT scores?
I can't. Those are locked up.
yeah.
Those are in a vault right now. My vault.
Yeah. No.
There is no
But
record
you know, you-
of any of those.
Hold on a second, though. You're in the clear. Your kids have gone through. Who are you hiding it from at this point?
I'm hiding it from the rest of your audience.
All 13 of them.
And you.
Yeah. I actually had good SAT scores, but
too.
and that was part of the problem because they were like, well, he's obviously a bright kid because he gets good SAT scores, but why isn't he paying attention in class? That was my big. Were you too friendly with your neighbors? That's what they used to say to me all the time. He's too friendly with his neighbors.
I just didn't care.
Yeah. It wasn't a focus? Were you working as well during high school? No?
I was just having a good old
You
time.
just so you got
gotta
to
realize the time when I was in high school was 1967 to 1970.
Yeah.
Those were unbelievable times.
Yeah.
And there was really not much done.
In,
all I know is
in the way of
all I know
schoolwork.
is my dad. Every time I came home, I would get like B's and C's. That's it.
Yeah.
I mean, I didn't want an A.
Yeah.
I didn't care about.
You didn't
an
want
A.
anybody to know you could get an A because then they'd expect you to get
exactly.
an A. I know
didn't
how your
want
brain
an A.
works.
Yeah, it's like I don't want an A.
Managing
I'm okay
expectations.
with B's and C's. You know. So I would come home with a report card. Yeah, they give it to you in school, and the nuns, the principal, they call you in one by one.
Was Arlington Catholic all boys?
No.
It had girls.
Yeah, boys and girls.
Okay.
And so you go in, you walk in, they give you the grades, and the principal would look at me and go, Mr. Najarian. I said, well, you know. And I'd have to go home. And
That was a
fix my
whole
father.
conversation.
That was it. That was about it. I didn't really. I'm like, oh, yeah, I understand. You know, I'll work harder next time,
Yeah.
Sister Hermine. And
I'll be sure to work harder.
I'm going home to work now. And so then I would take it home. And my father was a teacher. And he got his master's degree and everything. I mean, he was an animal. He went 15 years nights after I was born and went to Fitchburg. You didn't believe what he did. The guy was unbelievable. He was an unbelievable guy. And I'd go home and I'd give him my report card, and he'd just look like this here.
Shake his head.
Shake his head like this here and say to me, you know, I always thought you were smarter than me.
The brother comparison
And I would
comes
go,
right out.
eh,
I guess not.
I guess not, Dad.
See you later.
Walk away. I was like, I didn't care. I had my car. I was.
You were set. You were in, but church was always a big part of your life growing up, though, right? You guys went to church
Yeah.
every Sunday.
Yeah. Pretty much. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. We went to church.
But were you going to church just because you were told to go to church, or were you?
Yeah.
You weren't.
Come on, Dan. Really.
I don't know. Some people are into
Well,
religion.
they are. I mean, they're into church, but I was like, I had to go. I mean, I went to Catholic school. You went to
Born
church.
on All Saints Day.
Well, All Saints. But you know what? I had my birthday every year. No school.
Beautiful.
Really? Oh, that's a holiday at the Catholic
Oh
schools.
yeah.
Do we have that off?
No,
You should.
you
should definitely have it off.
should not.
Okay, no, it's definitely.
I'll tell you what. If it's a Saturday or Sunday, you can have it off.
That's not true. See, now that's just no.
I
doesn't
can't
work.
give preference to one religion's holidays without then taking into account all of the
Did you
religions.
give Christmas off?
Yeah, I give
Oh, there you go.
Only
Okay,
because-
no, let's
hold on.
let's talk it down that road.
Banks are closed. So if the banks are closed, then we're closed.
Oh my
Are the banks open on All Saints Day?
God. Yep.
Yeah. So there you go. Banks and markets.
Unless
The
it's
market.
Saturday or Sunday.
Unless it's Saturday. or
Sunday. It's Sunday now.
Yeah.
But okay, so anyway, that was it in high school, and high school was an interesting time.
Yeah.
A lot of stuff going on. I was big into like politics and stuff like that.
You were.
Yeah,
So you
yes, I
followed
was.
politics as a high schooler.
Yes, I did.
See, I did not.
I was big into it, man. I was huge into it.
Who was the president then? Abraham Lincoln?
In what year? give me a 64, Lyndon Johnson. Okay, 68 was when Richard Nixon won.
Wow. So Watergate, that whole
That whole thing, yeah, in the 70s, 71, 72.
so all the
yeah.
shows that I'm up watching late at night.
Vietnam was a key issue.
Yeah,
It
that's
was big.
that's then. All the shows that I stay up watching, it was your time in high school.
Yep.
Then you go to Boston College. Did you apply anywhere else? Was it even in the cards to go anywhere else?
Yep.
It was.
Yeah. I applied to like Fairleigh Dickinson. I got in a couple of other schools, and I got into Salem State, which was easy, obviously. And I got into BC, and I got into a couple of others. And
Yeah.
I forget where they were. One was in Siena or something like that. There, I don't know.
But you
I was told to apply to these schools because I could get in, so I said, I'll apply.
yeah. And then you applied to BC because that's where you were going.
That's where my brother went.
Yeah.
And that's where my parents wanted me to go.
Yeah.
And I
Neither
wasn't going to go.
Boomper nor Grandma, my grandparents, your parents had college educations.
False.
Okay.
Bumper had college
Bumper did.
education.
And then he got his
He
master's.
did not have a college education until I was born. He started on his college education journey. He went to Boston State for about 8 years, and then he would travel to Fitchburg 2 nights a week to get his master's degree, which took him about 4 years. And then he went from it, so he got his master's, and then he went and got 30 more credits at Fitchburg and Boston State. So he actually went to school 15 years nights.
Jeez.
At 35 years old, he started.
Oh my goodness.
I always would say to him, especially when I got older, and now I'm 35, I'm sitting there. This is a long time ago.
Yeah.
35.
That's half your life ago.
A long time. Thanks, Dan.
See how I did that math?
You're really good at math. Yeah.
70 divided by 2.
Okay, so that's
35.
I'm 69, okay? Anyway, that's beside the point. Now, so I said to him, I would always say to him, Dad, how the heck did you go to school 15 years nights? My God, I'd have blown my brains out.
Yeah.
And he said, you just do it.
Just do it.
He wanted it bad.
Yeah. So you went through BC in 4 years.
Yes, sir.
Accounting degree.
Yes, sir.
Why did you pick accounting? Because that's what your
My
brother did?
was an
Yeah. So this is like,
Well, I'll tell you what happened.
why'd you go to law school? Because my brother went. Why'd
No.
you go to BC? Because my brother did. I mean,
No,
it's-
I went because Papa told me I should go to BC.
Yeah.
I wanted to go to Salem State because I didn't want to deal with BC.
yeah.
He goes, you got to go to BC. You have to go. I said, I'll go. So, funny story.
Was the house in Arlington or was the house in Brighton at this
At the
point?
time I graduated, the house was in Arlington.
Okay, so
I
still
graduated high school,
high school.
1970. It was in Arlington.
Yeah.
We moved to Brighton in 72, and we moved grandma upstairs to
Yeah,
the second floor.
yeah.
So my freshman year at BC, never forget it, I was awful.
At school,
Oh, you have no idea. You have not a clue.
atrocious.
Oh, I mean, never went. I'll tell you what I did. My Spanish class. I've told this story a million times. Go to Spanish class, professor's talking English, Spanish, the whole thing. So I go take my midterm. 88.
Oh,
right?
easy peasy.
I'm golden.
Yeah.
I don't bother going anymore.
For the rest of the rest of the time.
I didn't go. I wouldn't go. I'll tell you what happened. I didn't go. So I'm getting near the end of the term, and I said, well, maybe I should go before the final, right?
Yeah, check in.
Yeah. So I go
See if
in
it's still there.
I go in about a week before, 2 weeks before the final. I show up at class. And she's talking all Spanish. And I'm like, uh-oh.
I got a problem here.
So, wouldn't you know it, in those days, they knew who you were, and the class wasn't like 100 people. It was like maybe 25 people. So she looks up and she goes, in Spanish, blah, 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 Mr. Najarian. I'm like, I'm going, are you kidding me? So I stood up and I said, I have no idea what you just said. And she said, I know.
Yeah.
You better learn it. The final's coming up in 2 weeks. I said, okay. So, of course, I don't take it seriously, and I flunked the course.
So you go from an 88 to an F.
Well, because I had like a 0.
Right. Yeah. Attendance 0. Final grade 0.
Everything. So, anyway, I ended up going. Afterwards, I flunked the course, and I'll never forget it. So I ended up when I knew I flunked it. So I went into her office. I got like a 1.2 my freshman year, or 1.67. I forget what it was. It was so low
You don't.
that I was on the verge of being suspended.
Yeah, as you should have been.
Okay, and gone. So I go home. I get my report card. I get this thing, and I go. My last day of school, freshman year, I drive home. I pull up to the house in Arlington, get out of the car, walk in, and say, I'm quitting school.
Ooh.
I'm done. And they go, what are you going to do? You can't. My mother's all, grandma's having a fit. She's crying.
Yeah.
Boompa's getting ready to smack me upside the head. And so I said, I'm not going. So they had to call in reinforcements.
So who'd they call?
My brother.
So my father comes down, talks you off the ledge.
Well, no, I wasn't on a ledge. I was just not going to go.
Yeah.
There's no ledge.
Right.
I was on flat ground. I was not going to go.
Sturdy as can be over here.
I was going to be a McDonald's baby.
Yeah, and no problem.
Think of the career choice. That's what it is now.
Yeah.
McDonald's is a career choice for
Yeah.
people. You don't have
Yeah.
to get a job other than McDonald's. What, $37 an hour?
Yeah.
Want fries with that,
Yeah.
sir? So he comes in, he walks in, he says, Kenny, what are you doing? I said, I stink at college. What can I tell you? I don't want to go anymore.
Yeah.
So he said, okay. What are you going to do? I said, I don't know. He said, what are you going to do? What You can do nothing. I said, I really don't know. I really don't care. Yeah, 17, 18 years old. What do I know?
Right.
He says, why don't you just go back another year? You know, try, keep going. Tough year. And he convinced me to go back, so I went back.
So that was the nudge that kept you in school.
Yeah.
Was him.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Good thing.
Yeah. I mean, I might have caved and gone back in with the crying and the vetching in the morning and the threats of my father hitting me upside the head. But, you know.
Bumper would have drove you to that school to
Yes,
make
he
sure
would've,
you were going to finish. You were going to finish no matter what.
Right.
So then
it was a pretty interesting time.
Yeah. So you got to tell the story, which I've only heard. Were you actually chained to a tree at one point?
Yeah. Well,
how old were you?
17. No, I was probably. What happened was, when I was a youngster, I was pretty rambunctious. I was not. No one could keep me anywhere. I would always wander off and do my thing, and never really cared about anything. So I was probably around 2 or 3 years old, and my mother would put a harness on me, okay?
Like a leash?
Like a little thing, okay?
A kid leash.
A baby leash.
I had one.
A
Oh,
baby
you didn't,
leash.
did you?
And she would tie me to a tree in the backyard because she knew, even with the leash, that I would, because one time
Figure out how to get out of it.
I actually did get out of it and walked away. Just left the house in Dunkley Street in Brighton and just walked away.
Gone.
There's a million stories about that. But anyway, so they would tie me to this tree all the time when I'm outside. So I wouldn't roam because I was, so my brother and his friends,
Loving older brother that you had.
they would tease me, and they would stand just far enough away. So every time I went, I go,
and the leash would grab it,
and the tree would just the tree's not moving. I'm the one going back, and they thought it was an absolute laugh.
Well, they're 13, and you're 2, 3 years old.
They were punks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Middle school.
Yeah.
Junior high, wise guys.
Wise
Watch
guys,
what I do to my brother over
Yeah,
here.
exactly. And they tortured me. He tortured me since I was born. But he's the best big brother anybody could ever have.
Well, that's
let me tell
nice
you.
to say.
I'll say honestly, if you could pick a big brother up in heaven before you come down, before you're born, he's the one I'd pick.
Well, it's amazing
He's a
because
great
you're
guy.
born on All Saints Day.
He's a great guy.
It's almost like they gave you him.
Yeah.
Because you just said you were kind of the chosen one, born on All Saints Day.
I'm surprised I'm still here. I don't deserve to be here right now.
So what happens after college? Where do you go?
I went to work at J.K. Lasser and Company, which happened to be, this is kind of funny, when I got out of college, I started at my freshman year 1.7. I ended up at the very end with a 3.1, 2.9, 3.0, in that range.
Yeah.
I don't know exactly. But anyway.
So you got more, but hold on a second. So you got more serious as.
Yes.
So we talked about that last week. I felt like when I went to BC, I was academically immature. I wasn't mature enough to understand the opportunities that had been laid out before me until later on. And really for me, it was when I got to law school that I kind of was like, oh, okay. All right. Okay.
Yeah. I
got some opportunities here. I gotta buckle down and do some work.
And you're right. I agree because I was young when I went to college. I was 17 when I started college.
Yeah.
In September.
Right. Turning 18
in November.
All Saints Day.
Right. All Saints Day.
Yeah.
Yeah. You remember that. And so I was young. I was immature. I was a real baby. And then I didn't really grow up till my senior year when I got all my classes. I got a 3.5, 3.8. I was really good.
Well, you had to have got really good grades at the end in order to sort of dig yourself out of the hole that you created.
Yeah.
From
my junior year was good.
Yeah.
My senior year was outstanding.
So you matured.
Right. But I couldn't get a job.
Because of your grade point average?
My grades were awful. Because my overall.
Your final number that you write on the resume was
for some reason it just didn't matter to these big 8 firms.
Yeah.
So and it was big 8 firms at that time. So I took all the interviews.
How many?
School.
What's the big 4 now?
Yeah, it's 4 left.
Yeah.
But all the big 8 firms I interviewed with, and I even interviewed with one of the ushers, Tommy Baker, who was at your dad's wedding.
Yep.
Who I knew when I was younger.
Yep.
And I didn't get a job with them either.
The name didn't carry any weight.
Nothing
couldn't get over that grade point average.
It was Touche Ross at the time that he worked for. So I finally got a job. I I got one offer from Wolf and Company, and then I interviewed with J.K. Lasser, who your dad worked for when he was here, and I got that job. So I took that job.
Yep.
So the funny part about it was, I got into J.K. Lasser, and I was started as a junior, and I was running jobs and about 2 or 3 years in, I was running jobs at General Cinema Corp. We were running the audit for General Cinema Corp, a national company, doing the SEC work, the 10K, everything, the 10Qs on quarterlies. I was running
You were
those jobs.
running them all at
Running them.
24. You're 24 at this point. 24, 25
24
maybe?
years old.
Yeah.
Running those things. So then that year, at 24, we merged with Deloitte Touche, and Tommy Baker was still there as a partner.
And that's one of the big. That's one of the
that
big
was one of
ones.
the big 8.
Yeah.
And it had got to 6, I think, by that time.
Yeah. And what? Yes. And those are the big. You're talking about the accounting firms.
Right.
Big.
Right.
The big.
Right.
Big 4 now.
Right.
What are the big 4 now?
Price Waterhouse, Ernst & Young, Arthur, I don't know. I don't really know anymore.
Yeah.
I don't even care.
Why would you?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We have a couple Price. That's where Michael went.
Yeah.
And,
Michael went to
Nick
Price.
and Nick went to Price.
Yeah. So we go there, we merge with them. So when I get beat up by, and what happened was when I got those letters when I graduated from college, I was so PO'd.
Yeah.
I'll tell you, I was so mad at them and I was mad at myself.
Yeah.
So I took all the letters, all my rejection letters, and I still have them. And
Really?
I saved them. I have them all. And I said to myself, basically, I won't use the language. I said to myself, these guys, they're going to rue the day that they let me go.
So that's a little nudge. That's a little nudge, right? It was not necessarily positive, right? It was like, hey, you're not good enough.
Yeah.
And you took that and put a chip
pissed.
on your shoulder.
Yeah. Well, I had that since I was younger anyway.
Yeah.
But
it got bigger. It got bigger.
And I was so mad. And I said, so then when we merged with Deloitte Touche, I actually walked into Baker's office because he knew we merged, but I don't think he realized I was part of the merger because he was just a partner over there. So we moved the office over, and I said to the managing director, I said, is Tom Baker still here? And they said, yeah. I said, where's his office? And they go, down the hall. And I go down the hall, and I walk around, and I look, I go, Tom Baker? He goes, yeah. He goes, yeah. I said, I'm back. He started laughing.
Did he laugh?
Oh, my God. He says, you son of a bitch.
Yeah.
I said, yep,
like
a
bad penny.
I'm
Can't
here.
Get, Here I am. Here's Johnny.
Yeah. Then I left there a year later.
You got out of there.
Yeah, for myriad of reasons. I didn't like the way they told me I couldn't grow a mustache. They told me, I had one partner come up to me at a big dinner, and he said to me, I've been there like 6 months.
Yeah.
He goes, we really like you here, and where do you live? I said, I live in Duxbury. And he goes, oh, that's a long ride, because they were on William Street in Wellesley. I said, yeah. He goes, I like to live close to the office.
Oh.
And I said, really? He goes, yeah. I said, why is that? And he said, because I work here till around 5 or 6, and then I go home to have dinner with my children, and then I come back and work late. And I went, well, that ain't me.
Yeah.
That ain't happening. He goes, what do you mean? I said, well, you can count me out of being a partner and living around here, because that is not happening.
Right.
And that's how they were in those days.
Yeah.
So
Work.
So I left there in a year.
And is that you don't go out on your own at that point, do you?
I went to Onyx Corp. There's a guy in, they owned a company, Bob Langone and Hugh Hamill, who actually played bowling with your dad. Okay?
Bowling.
They bowled together.
With big ball or little ball?
I don't know, little ball, I think. So anyway, I was looking for a job. I said,
You didn't bite on that one. We could have gone like a whole tangent about the bowling.
We're not going to bowling now.
No.
I could, but
Did you see him shoo me? He's like, nah. Big ball, little ball. I don't care.
I don't know what it is.
Tell him a story.
I didn't bowl.
Don't care.
Don't care.
I wasn't bowling.
Big ball, little ball. Don't care. Go ahead.
Excuse me. Was I bowling with them?
No, you weren't.
Okay, so
They didn't invite you.
Well, because they didn't know
like
who
you.
I was. They didn't know who I was.
Are you sure?
Yeah. Because
Keep telling
they were
yourself
looking for a
that.
job, and I saw an ad for Onyx Corp, and I asked them, oh, yeah. So I ended up finding out that when I interviewed with them that they went bowling with my brother.
So he got you the job.
No, he got me the job.
Did you say thank you after?
He didn't get me the job. I found out afterwards.
You got a job from my father's bowling buddies. That's what
They
happened.
weren't bowling buddies. They bowled in a league, and he knew them. Oh, my God.
Okay.
It's ridiculous.
Define bowling buddies.
They
You
weren't
bowl in a
bowling
league.
buddies. They weren't bowling buddies. I said they bowled in this. They knew each other.
They bowled
from
at the
bowling.
same place in a league together at the same time in the league, which makes them bowling buddies. But go on.
Okay,
So my
they're bowling
father's
buddies.
bowling buddies get you a job. Thank God, because you pissed off your prior boss.
No, because
Told him to
I
go
had-
shit in his hat that you weren't
No.
going to work late.
Well, I had a job.
Got it. I'm getting it now.
No, I had a job offer from before I went to the interview with them. I had a job offer from Nadell and Sadal, which is now they got bought by Bloom Shapiro.
Yeah.
Okay, and Bloom Shapiro.
Boring.
I'm just telling you what happened. I got a job interview there, and then I went over in Onyx and lasted 4 years there until they split up.
And then what happened?
They had they split up. Those two partners had a big argument, and it was a nightmare. And then Hugh passed away, but that was another thing.
But at some point you go out on your own. At
Yes,
some point,
1982.
1982.
Yeah,
So if my math is right, you're 30 years old.
29.
Because it was before All Saints Day that year.
Correct.
Got it.
April of 20.
April of 82. You're 29 years old.
Yes.
You live in Duxbury.
Yeah.
Children?
One.
Just Michael.
In the job I was in before, I was a CFO. I was a CFO there for about 2 or 3 years.
So good job.
Great job.
Good pay.
Great job.
Steady.
And they split up as partners, and I wasn't going to work for the other guy because I hated working for anybody ever again. And I made a commitment to myself I was never work for anybody.
So
again.
that's the same when you and I have talked about this. I think, I had a series of jobs. You obviously had a series of jobs. And I think at some point you realize two things: that you don't want to make other people money, A, and B, you're not a good employee.
Correct.
Yeah.
You basically hate people.
Yeah. and you absolutely despise people telling you what to do.
Oh, yeah.
Like, makes my skin crawl,
Yeah.
right? It could be the most
Women
benign.
have a hard problem dealing with that, don't they?
Yeah.
They have a hard problem. Like your wife, I'm sure, has a hard problem dealing with you because when she says, Dan, do something, you go, no.
Right. It could be the most benign thing. It could be,
Right.
Can you get up and get me the remote? No.
Yeah.
Get the remote yourself.
Yeah.
Right? Like something simple.
You
Can
know-
you go
oh,
downstairs?
No. Here's this. No, this is
Can you shut the hall light off? No.
the beauty is this too. Ready for this, Dan? You got to go cut the grass. No, I don't think so.
No. Yeah. No.
I'll cut it on my own
Yeah.
time.
I'll cut it when I want to cut it.
Exactly.
It's knee high.
Yeah.
Hank got lost out there once because I didn't cut the grass.
So,
Where's Hank? He's in the backyard. I can't see him. The grass is too high. Stop
even-
telling me to cut it.
Right. I'll cut it when I want to.
Yeah.
And you go outside 5 minutes later.
Yeah,
and
cut the grass.
Yeah.
Because I want on my terms.
Right.
But it's true. It's like some. It's not. I'm being
a
facetious
disease.
when I
It's a
say.
disease.
But I'm being facetious when I say it's the light in the hallway. But like it could be something very simple,
Yeah.
and I have to catch myself and be like, oh my god, just go downstairs and
Yeah. Do it.
make sure the fridge is shut that you left open. Right? You left the fridge open. Can you go downstairs? No, I'm not. You go downstairs. And you left it open. What are you talking about? You created the problem,
So true.
right?
Yeah, we hate people.
You hate them.
God bless your wives.
I know. Well, but that was also the nudge, that the internal nudge. So we talked a little bit about internal nudges. That's an internal nudge, right? To go out on your own and be like, I don't want to have to move to Wellesley because this guy wants me to work late and I'm going to miss my son's baseball or hockey or whatever it is, right? But 29 years old, I did it at, what was I? It was 2009. So I was like 34. I was a little bit older than you were when I went out on my own. Were you nervous?
No. Why would I be nervous, Dan? I got a mortgage payment. I got a wife. I got a kid. And I got no job.
Right.
But I wasn't nervous.
No.
Oh, come on. I had no car. I had a company car. I had no car.
So they take the car away.
What do you want? Was I nervous? What? Me worry?
Yeah, no.
I mean, Alfred E. Newman?
No, no.
What? Me worry?
So where's your first office?
The first office was in Aunt Franny's bar. Aunt Franny's
Oh, in
place
Hanover.
In Hanover, right. I had that for about...
So my Aunt Franny is on my mother's side.
Yep.
She had a house. It was like a
Yeah.
2-family that was converted, and she
Yeah.
had an interior design
And I had an office in that house.
in upstairs.
Yep.
And it was like a revolving door of
Right.
family that used it for an office.
So I
whether-
used it for maybe like 3 months.
Yeah.
And I ended up getting a job at a place called Strategic Planning Institute on a per diem basis at that time for like $25 an hour, which was pretty good.
Yeah.
This is 1982, mind you. And I would have to drive from Duxbury to Cambridge every day to work with the elites because they were a think tank.
The elites?
The elites.
They called themselves the elites?
No, I call them elites.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, the elites.
Yeah.
Harvard grads.
Oh, yeah.
All MBAs.
Yeah, look down
all
their nose at you.
morons,
Yeah.
And
They're in there sharpening their pencil with their Excel spreadsheets, right?
excuse me.
Take a sip of water. That's why we have it.
So, anyway, thanks, Dan. I needed that.
Well, no, that's the nudge you needed to not die on the podcast, which we appreciate here.
Allergies are killing me. So anyway, I went to Strategic Planning Institute as like the acting controller. They had a CFO and nice guy, and he was older. But all the people that worked there were finance. It's a riot. They were all finance MBAs
Yeah.
who were planners, Planning Institute. It was like
What were they planning?
It was like a fake company.
Doing fake stuff.
Strategic Planning Institute. I never knew what they did. I
And-
did know. So anyway,
And you just you did the accounting for
I
them?
ran the business up. I ran the operations for them and all that stuff there. And I did that for about a year because I was just building my business at the time.
Yeah.
And after about 3 or 4 months, I had a guy that I worked with, Jim Henderson, who I went into partnership with in 1982, and I think it was in August or September of 1982, we formed Najarian and Henderson. And I won the flip of the coin. So that's
Get
why
the
I
name
was
first. Usually it's alphabetical.
I won the flip.
Was there really a flip?
Yeah. He said, I said, why don't you just we'll be Henderson Najarian. He goes, no, we should do this fair. We'll do a flip. I said, all right.
Yeah.
Flip the coin. Oh, I win.
All Saints Day,
Yeah, so
winning.
I went.
right?
Yeah, exactly.
God looking down.
God was just
you
right there. Boom.
You shall win
Yep.
the coin flip,
Exactly.
my
And that was-
son.
Right, and that was Najarian and Henderson.
And how long
was
did
in
that
82.
and you just like reconnected with him, right?
Yeah.
You left, you guys split or whatever, however
Yeah.
that happened, and then recently you reconnected with
Yeah,
him.
we were always chatting a little bit, but we reconnected a little bit more closely about a year ago.
Yeah, I remember you were all excited.
Yeah. So we were 6 years in practice, and then we split up pretty amicably.
And during that time, you have 2 more kids.
Yeah.
So now you have
was
Danielle
born
and
in
Margot.
84, and Margot was born in 86.
So I'll tell a funny story about my Margot story. So when I was in college, my father gave me an American Express card, and he said, emergencies only. Okay, well, he never defined what an emergency was. So sometimes the emergency might be at the local liquor store. Sometimes it might be, I needed a new pair of sneakers, whatever the emergency was, right? And my father was very generous and is very generous. And, he never really said anything until, I'd have 1 month where I'd like go bonkers and the thing would get out of control. And he'd call me and say, you got to take it easy on the American Express. You got to dial it back on the American Express. So we're playing golf. Michael Kenny and I are playing golf. And Margot's calling and calling and calling. I think she was like getting her hair done or something, right? I figure so. She's like getting her hair done, and she's very beautiful and very much into her look and her fashion, right? And her hair is always perfect, and her nails are always perfect. And so she's at the hair salon, and the phone's ringing. So finally, I answer it
Because I know what it is.
because yeah. He won't answer the phone. So I'm like, I'm gonna answer this phone. She called like 3 times. I pick up the phone. Margot, hi, it's Dan. It's your cousin. I just played golf with your dad. What's going on? Is something wrong? She's like, well, I just got my hair done. And I said, dude, that is an emergency. You need to pay for that with the American Express card. That's an emergency. And he's all mad at me. It wasn't a cheap hair. It was the coloring
Oh,
and
it
the
was
whole,
like hundreds of
the
dollars.
blowout, like the whole.
It's just a principle.
It was the whole situation. So I said, you can use that card for emergencies only, right, Margot? How'd she do? Was she responsible? No. But now she's got a wonderful family, and
Yeah.
Danielle's got a wonderful family, and they all got, how many grandkids do you have?
7.
Wow.
2 boys and 5 girls. That's the torture that God put me under.
The 5 girls.
5 girls.
Yeah.
It's a riot. You should see them.
How old's the oldest and how?
Bodie just turned 7, and the youngest is Tylee Jade, my youngest granddaughter, and she's like about 8, 9 months now.
That's Margot's,
Margot's youngest.
and they're in South Carolina. She went to school down there, met a man.
Yep.
And
Yeah. Met her husband. He
yeah.
Played football
played
there.
football there.
Yeah.
He's huge.
Yeah. 6'4",
Yeah.
250.
Monster.
6'4". Oh, he's big. And
Yeah. He's a big boy.
Yeah. He's the one you want to go when you go out and you're going to maybe step into some trouble.
Yeah.
You take David with
Yeah.
you.
You want David around.
You want David around. A little, shrimpy Najarian.
Yeah.
You know?
Well, and here's the rule, David. Here's the rule. We'll start it. You finish it.
Oh, no. All he'd have to do is stand up.
Yeah.
No.
100%. We'll start it.
He stands up.
Yeah.
I got a friend of mine we play golf with, and we travel golf and stuff like that, and we go out a lot and just hang out with the guys, and even after golf, we'd go different places and not eat at Marshfield because the food really is not that great.
It's come around, though.
It's come around a lot, but it wasn't great before. So we go places, and I always get in trouble.
What do you mean you get? Oh,
chirp, 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 chirp.
you say
It's
something,
just
somebody, you know,
It's just somebody will say something to me, and I can't,
you can't help yourself.
I can't. It's just a disease. You can't help yourself. It just comes out. You don't
Yeah.
really realize it's happening, but it's happening.
Yeah, you're like, oh,
And you're
God.
getting yourself in a little bit of a blah, 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 blah.
Yeah.
And then Mike, my friend Mike Cully, is like around 6'3", and he probably used to be like around 260. He's a big guy.
Big guy. Big hands.
And he
big.
always says, "This is he'll tell you. He will. What he'll do is he'll get. We'll be sitting there and chirping, and somebody will say something, and all of a sudden you can just tell it's getting a little tense. And I'm egging it on.
Yeah.
And
Just throwing a little gas
yeah.
on the fire.
So he'll go. You ask him, he just stands right up. He goes, "Is there a problem over here?"
And everyone goes,
And
no.
then he goes, "No, we're all right. Thank you, sir. No problem." Because he's just he's an intimidating kind of guy.
So, do you ever see? Do you ever listen to? I think it's Bill Burr. He does there's a comedian, and he does an incredible skit about. He's like a high energy guy, and he's got a skit or whatever, and he says, I go to the restaurant with my wife, and somebody aggravates me, and I explode, and she looks over, she goes, you go from 0 to 100 overnight. He goes, I idle at 70. I'm idling at 70. So don't say I start at 0. That's us.
That's me.
We're idling at 70. Like,
We
you
really
see the way that
do.
guy parked? Why is he parking like that? It's ridiculous.
You do have Bill Burr tendencies. The more you talk about it, the more I can see.
Yeah, it's
true.
It's that, right? I don't.
No, I do.
Yeah.
Your dad doesn't.
No, he's
No.
unless he does go from 0. He idles
He's
at
0 to 100, but
Yeah.
he's not idling at 70.
No.
No, he's idling at 0.
Yeah, he idles down.
You know?
He's got it under
But
control.
I got a real problem.
Yeah.
I mean,
That's the
I'm
Italian
same
in
way.
you.
Yeah, I just check.
Yeah.
Your eyes bug open.
Well,
you're
it
like,
goes back to someone telling you what to do, or
Yeah.
like you feel like someone's slighting you in
Yeah.
the least, and it's like
Yeah,
you're
you
seeing
just
red.
don't like it.
Yeah. So you got to have big guys around like David.
You
or-
have to. Yeah, you have to have protection.
That's why we hired Nick.
Nick.
We hired
Yeah.
Nick based on size.
You have protection.
Yeah, and Chris,
is
look at.
pretty
I mean,
big.
I got some
Chris is
body.
pretty big, yeah.
He's 6.
And Chris will look.
Yeah, he's
at
like
someone,
6'3".
yeah,
The
yeah.
problem with Chris is he's
He's like a dog on a bone.
Well, he's idling at 70.
Yeah, he's idling at 90.
Yeah. Ready to explode.
Yeah,
So, all right.
he
So
explodes on hello.
he can get volatile. He's all upset that I haven't had him on the podcast yet. And it's like, I'm like, Chris, the more you say that you want to come on the podcast, the longer I'm going to push you off.
Exactly.
Just be quiet. And then one of these days I'll say, come on the podcast. Kind of like I did with you.
Yeah.
But you blew me off for like a week.
Well, you deserved it.
Yeah,
You always going to be put in your place once in a while, Dan. You
I know,
You do
someone-
get carried away with yourself sometimes, you know?
I do. This podcast has got my head spinning. I mean, it's everywhere I go, people are talking about it. I mean,
It's all over the place.
it's unbelievable.
I saw it on the news.
I go to like 3 places.
Yeah.
Like, so everywhere I go, like I'm globally trotting around the world. No, I go here.
How's that podcast, Dan, going?
Yeah,
Pretty good?
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Well, you should listen to the last one. It's pretty good.
Yeah.
Yep.
So now you're 70 years old. You're still working,
Yeah. Yeah.
and you've had this iteration of Ken Najarian CPA for how long?
I've had this since 88.
So when you left Henderson,
Yeah.
when you guys split, you truly went out on your own at that point.
44 years, Dan.
44 years.
September 1st.
Am I your favorite client?
1988. No.
No. So actually, I was on the beach Saturday, and sitting around with some families that I know, and you did the taxes for every single one of them in Duxbury. Weiler, what the hell was the guy's name? I forget their name. I didn't even ask, but they said to me, "Who's Ken to you? Who's Ken Najarian?" And I said, "That's my uncle." And they said, "Oh, she does. You do the Sheehan's taxes? Is that right?"
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Which Sheehan were you with?
Deirdre Weiler,
Okay.
I think, is a Sheehan.
Okay.
You do her mother's taxes.
Yep.
You go to
I do
her
Emmett's.
house.
I do. No, I don't
Yeah.
go to her house.
She sends your stuff in.
Yeah.
And then you send the package back.
Yeah.
That's the beauty of my taxes. Like I hand them a pile of stuff. Here you go. And they come back done.
Yeah. Whether they're right or not,
Yeah,
another story.
I don't
but
even
they're
check.
done.
I don't even check. I don't. I'm like, okay, great. You could write anything in there. It could say FUIRS underneath the first page. I don't even look.
I put a PS on your return.
Yeah.
Please call him.
Yeah. You should audit this one. It says down the bottom in red. I don't even look.
That's exactly right. That's exactly what I do.
It's not what he does. He's the best accountant in the South Shore.
Well, that's not true.
If you
That's
need
beside the
accounting
point.
services, call Ken Najarian.
Please don't.
You could be, but you're thinking about you got to be looking at the next step, the next
I am.
retiring.
I am.
Relaxing, enjoying
am.
your grandkids. So
I
do you are they? So I think you're done at 7, or will there be more
There
babies?
may be 1 or 2 more.
Yeah,
Yeah.
9's a good number.
Yeah.
8, 9. That's a
Yeah.
lot.
I mean, Danielle may have another, and Margot may have another.
Michael's
but
done.
Michael's done.
Yeah,
He's always stressed with the 2 boys.
yeah. I know.
Yeah,
I can
it's
see it when he
killing
comes in there.
It's killing him.
Yeah, I know. Take it easy,
know,
Michael. You
yeah.
can handle it.
Yeah.
It's just 2. They're still playing man-on-man coverage over there.
Oh, yeah.
Right? They got one. You have to
Yeah.
go to a zone. When you get the 3rd kid, then it
Yeah.
becomes, because it's if you have 2 kids, it's like, okay, you take this one to their activity, I'll take
Yeah.
this one to this activity, and that's easy.
Yeah.
But when you have 3,
Oh,
changes the whole game,
oh yeah.
right?
Yep. It
so
does. It's
my
easy,
advice
but-
is
yeah.
stop at 2.
Yeah.
I wanted to go to 4. I wanted to have 4. I would like to have another boy for Hank. I think
When
that's
I got
important.
married, I wanted to have 6.
6 was your number?
After 3, I would have accepted for 4.
Yeah.
Yeah. We could have had 4. We almost had a 4th, but it didn't happen.
Yeah. We didn't, once we had Hank, who was the 3rd and was a boy, that was it. We were done. I knew I lost that fight. So I didn't fight it.
Yeah.
Because I don't want to be in a fight I'm going to lose.
Yeah.
She
you
was
never
sick of
would.
driving herself to the hospital.
Yeah. She's like, I'm not driving myself to the hospital. Did you know that story?
Yeah.
Drove herself to the hospital? Sicko.
Oh, yeah. Well.
While she was pregnant with Hank. She
Wow.
drove herself to the hospital.
Well, she had to.
In labor. Yeah, I was busy golfing.
Yeah. Exactly.
No, it was November. It was November 12th. I was working that day.
Yeah.
It's one of the days I worked that year.
Yeah.
Everybody makes fun of me, says I don't work, you know. Do you know that, Root Beer?
No.
Yeah. All my friends, my uncle, like I'll be like, oh, what are you doing today? I said, I'm working. He's, you don't work.
Well, they used to say that about me, too.
Yeah, because they don't
They
understand.
don't understand.
Right.
Everybody says to me, so you playing golf today? Do I sound like I'm playing golf today?
Well, not only that, even if you are playing golf, who cares? It's not your business. That's why we went out on our own.
Right.
So we could work Saturday nights instead of having to work on a Thursday afternoon when we want to
Yeah.
play golf.
Right.
That's the beauty of it.
Yeah.
You're not
Exactly
you're
what
not on anybody else's time.
No.
So these people that are on other people's time, they get mad at you
Right.
when you want to, if you want to play 2 or 3 days in a row, or you want to take a day off. It's your time. But that means that I have to make it up somewhere else.
Right.
And there's other sacrifices that I'm going to make that that person isn't making.
Correct.
When they put their phone down on a Friday afternoon, they're done, right? And they pick it back up on Monday. We don't get that pleasure.
Well, I'll tell you one thing that happens is you get older, the more frustrated you get with that comment.
Which one? Oh, you don't work.
Yeah, what are you going to play? I thought you'd be playing golf today. I thought you'd be out
Yeah.
the golf course.
I
Now I'm like, what the hell do you think I'm doing, for
Yeah.
God's sake?
Yeah,
So
that-
I'm playing golf. What's that your problem? I'm not playing golf right now. I'm talking to you, so shut up.
yeah.
You get angry at him.
Yeah.
It's like, come on. It's been like 40 years I'm putting up with this comment. I
Yeah.
don't want to hear it anymore.
It's the same stupid comment. Come up with something new.
Yes, exactly.
Right?
Yeah. Change the tune a little
Yeah.
bit. Come on.
Yeah. Are you not playing golf today? No. I'm doing your taxes, and I'm going to screw them all up.
Yeah.
FUIRS. That would have been a,
You are in trouble.
yeah. Audit
Put
this
it on
guy.
the letterhead.
Yeah.
Put it on the letter when you send him, when you give him the stuff. By the way, you're in a little trouble here.
Yeah. But you know what? You were a legend on the beach on Saturday. Everybody knew
Really?
Ken.
Really?
Oh yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
they
I
send me
defended
money?
you. I mean, they're not. I
I'm
don't.
talking trash about
Yeah.
me. I know
I was
that,
like, that's not true. He's not playing golf.
Well, Well, I do all, Emmett
See what I
Sheehan.
did there?
You know Emmett Sheehan?
Yeah.
Yeah, I do all his work.
Yeah. So that must
The
be.
Eagle's Nest, I do the Eagle's Nest, I do is all of his other entities.
Yeah. So there's the connection. There's the connection. So you got a busy practice.
Oh, yeah.
You're working.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, we have a lot of clients.
Yeah, and you keep like expanding
Oh,
space.
It's still growing, man. It's still growing.
That's amazing.
It is.
So let me ask you: is there part of you that doesn't want to retire? Honestly,
Yes.
there is.
Because, well, yes. Yeah, yes, there is.
Which part?
I don't know
The one
yet.
that cashes the checks.
The one that spends the money.
Yeah, right. Don't retire. That little guy over here.
Yeah. What are you, stupid? And the other one's going, what are you, really stupid?
Yeah.
No, yeah, there is a part of me that's, I've always said, when you retire, you die.
Yeah.
I've said that
Yeah.
for years. Because I hear stories of people when they retire at 65 and at 66, they're dead. It's
Yeah.
like, why would I retire?
You gotta have some sort of hobby and
Gotta
not
have a purpose, Dan.
Yeah, and not just
It's
go
a
play golf
purpose.
every day. You gotta have
It's a purpose.
a purpose, a reason to get up.
You got to have a purpose.
Yeah.
And my purpose is now I'm trying to get to the point where I do some consulting work.
Like you do for us, kind of.
And keep a couple of clients that want me to just keep doing their work.
Yeah.
And that's about it. I
Yeah.
only want a few.
But
I
like
don't want a lot.
we were talking, so when you came in here this morning, I said, "What did you do this weekend?" And you said, "Well, it was so hot on Saturday that I just worked."
Yeah, I wanted to work.
You went to work.
Yeah.
70 years old.
Yeah.
I mean, you didn't have to go to work.
No.
No one was telling you to go to work.
No.
You just want to get out of the house.
Well, no, I really had stuff to do.
Oh, you did?
Because I've been playing golf and I haven't been around, and I'm like, maybe I should go in the office and straighten out some things that haven't been done.
So all of those clients that ask you that question are completely justified in asking it.
Correct.
Yeah. Okay.
I have no problem. I used to have no problem asking. Now I have a problem asking because none of their goddamn business. what I'm doing.
And like I
That's
said,
it.
it's the
I've
same.
had enough.
It's the same attempt at humor
Right.
over and over again.
Right. It's like, come on, give me a break.
Yeah. I'm not just one-dimensional golfer over here. I mean, I do a lot of things.
Exactly. And Dan does a
I
lot
mean,
of things too. He was sitting on the beach with a bunch of people from Duxbury.
I mean, I watch golf. I think about golf. I play golf. Right.
Yeah.
Talk about golf.
Yeah.
No, but I like. I mean, I do too. I like my. I've been on the boat at all. Did you get rid of
Not
it?
much, Dan. I still got the boat, but I haven't been on it much.
And Michael doesn't go down and use it.
No. No, I don't know why, but he doesn't go. So
It's not his thing.
no, he doesn't like it.
Yeah.
He's not a beach guy. He's
not
not
a
an ocean guy.
No, which is crazy because he grew up in Duxbury.
He should be. Now my son-in-law Matt, he likes the boat, but he's too busy working.
Yeah.
And,
He's a nice kid.
Oh, he's a great kid.
Yeah.
I'm very lucky. My daughter's married great guys.
Yeah. That's important
Yeah.
because it can go south fast.
Big time. Yeah. Yeah. So you don't need any real jerks in there.
No.
No.
I don't know how I'm going to vet that. Well, we can talk about that offline because I got two.
God love you.
Yeah. And I wasn't born on All Saints Day. So, like, I'm already behind the 8 ball. I don't have the good Lord with his hand on my shoulder guiding me as you did.
True.
Yeah.
True. Yeah. It's true.
It is
Right.
true.
You're in big trouble.
I'm in big trouble.
Yeah.
I'm in big trouble. Well,
2 girls will do it.
I'm going to follow your lead and hopefully find
Yeah,
some.
right.
Yeah.
Good luck.
I'm not going to be working at 70, I hope.
Yeah.
But I probably will be.
You'll be doing something.
Finding deals.
Your father was working
Yeah.
till this day, really.
He's still working. He's still got files that he
Yeah.
carries around.
So, I mean, it's a thing.
Yeah, it's what you
a
do.
Najarian thing, I think. You just keep on working because that's what your parents did.
Yeah.
They kept on working, and you just keep on working.
Yeah. Well, hopefully my kids will keep on working because their spend rate is incredible right now.
Your kids will not keep working. They won't.
I mean, they are just burning through it.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
Do you have a book? Do you have a ledger?
I don't have a ledger.
Yeah.
Did you actually have a ledger?
No.
No.
I never had a ledger.
That's my father's joke. So my father's like, I'll just mark it down in the ledger and we'll square up at the end. I'm like, the end of what? There is no end. Just keep, sending it in. Well, Kenny, Uncle Ken, thank you for coming on.
No problem, Dan.
You were a great, great guest.
Well, I don't know about that, but...
You were. It's nice to hear from the older generation.
Ouch.
One last dig.
Wow.
Thank you, Mary Lou's, for sponsoring us. If you have any accounting needs, call Ken Najarian. He's in Braintree.
Don't bother, please.
He doesn't need any new clients.
Please don't bother. Call someone else.
Call someone else. And as always, if you need anything, call me because everybody needs a nudge. See you later.
Thank you, Dan. Appreciate it.
Goodbye.